as Chinese, we are very grateful because one TV 600 American pilots live their life in China. And you must also know the Doolittle Raid story. That's another story, the other side of almost the same story. When American pilots, after bombing Tokyo, Japanese homeland, they went to China and crash landed in the coastal area of China. And most of them were rescued by the Chinese, especially the civilians. More than 60 of them were rescued. But lots of Chinese give their lives for this because the Japanese launched a campaign trying to find these people who helped the American pilots. So they killed like 200,000 Chinese. I mean, these stories like this happened so many years ago, telling us Chinese and Americans are just like brothers and sisters. We can work together. I hope they can be the bridge, the natural bridge to bring people from both sides together by enhancing the mutual understanding so we can build the trust to let this relationship grow.
飞虎队的老队员以及这个飞虎队的基金会的有关的领导，我们呢在广西的桂林和柳州都有飞虎队在2战期间和日本人作战时候的遗址，所以呢这一次来呢，我们是和这个飞虎队基金会来进行进一步的沟通，想呢把这个飞虎队的精神能够在中美两国的年轻一代能够得以传承。第二个，我们广西代表团这一次来的目的呢，是今年是中美建交45周年，我们想借这次机会啊，通过广西和纽约以及广西和美国之间人民的进一步沟通，来推动两国关系的进一步的好转，加强人民和人民之间的沟通交流，推动两国人民之间的友好往来。也希望呢，更多的纽约人，希望更多的美国的人到这个广西去旅游。
Is Honorable Liao Pinghu, Vice Governor of Guangxi Autonomous Region. We came here to visit New York City to host a photo display about the U.S. and Sino friendship in Guangxi, including the Flying Tiger stories, U.S. President visiting Guangxi, Guilin, and Lijiang River. Also, Xiao's wife, Miss Chen Xiangmei, is a great story between China and U.S. and a lot of leaders of the United States. We have a very close links between Beijing and the United States.
中美友好在广西图片展，它主要的展出是表现我们广西和飞虎队的一段情。刚才我也向大家介绍这个飞虎队啊，在广西做出的贡献，桂林人民呢也没有忘记这次我带着一幅我们桂林本土画家为这场活动画了一幅桂林情。这幅画送给飞虎队革命主席看之后，他非常感动，说里面的人物有6个老兵是他们的父辈，所以说飞虎队的一架飞机在桂林失事，为了寻找他的残骸，我们老百姓几万人上山去寻找。说这个故事，这些老兵听说后，他们也非常感动，他们也表示近期在6月份会到我们广西，到桂林去。
General of Guangxi Foreign Affairs. It's my honor to extend my heartfelt thanks and welcome to all of you. Today we are very happy to have with us His Honorable Liao Pinghu, Vice Governor of Guangxi Autonomous Region, and His Excellency Consul General of the People's Republic of China in New York, His Honorable Wang Ping. Mr. Jeffrey Green, Chairman of the Sino-American Aviation Heritage Foundation, has educated so much to cherish and celebrate the Flying Tiger spirit with the great teeth. And Mr. George Ge, CEO of the China Institute in America, one of the greatest CEOs in New York. Without his support, expertise, everything today will be impossible. And Ms. Jan Barris, Vice President of the National Committee of U.S.-China Relations, one of the major bridges of the China-U.S. friendly relations. Mr. Christopher, Member of the Assembly of New York State, and Grace Lee, Assembly Member of New York State. Also, Scott Stringer, nominee of the Mayor of the City of New York. Also, we have with us members of the Guangxi delegation, representatives of the New York State government and Assembly, representatives of friendly associations, Flying Tigers associations, research institutions, academic circles, Chinese Americans and overseas Chinese, and friends from media. Let's give them a big applause, please. For our great speeches, I invite you to enjoy a beautiful performance by Zhuang ethnic people. It is very professional and very special. Please. 表演开始。
前那条河，唱过春歌，唱秋歌，唱过茶歌，唱酒歌，唱不尽满园的好风景，好日子天天都放在歌里过，唱过老歌，唱新歌。情歌唱喜歌，唱不尽今朝好心情，好歌越唱，大路越宽阔。
3000，门前那条河。喜歌，唱不尽今朝好心情，好歌越唱，大路越开阔。一枝红了唱天歌，唱起了欢歌又一场。嘿，唱过了刘三千，门前那条河。
踏平了山路唱山歌，撒开了渔网唱渔歌，唱起那牧歌牛羊歌呀。
Following the performance is a very beautiful Guangxi subject tree.
大家好，今天是广西同乡会，我们演出一个科目三，它是发源地是广西壮族自治区，那个结婚的舞台上面演的。
It is my honor to call upon this Honorable Liu Pinghu, Vice Governor of Guangxi, to give us a speech. Yes, please. Distinguished guests, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It gives me a great pleasure to meet you during this wonderful spring season in New York for the opening ceremony of the photo exhibition of Sino-American friendship in Guangxi. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to Madam Yu Sai-Kam and Mr. George Go of China Institute in America for your gracious support to this event. I would also like to thank all the distinguished guests and friends who have taken time out of your busy schedule to attend this event. My special thanks also go to the Chinese Consulate General in New York, especially Consul General Mr. Huang Ping for his generous assistance. Some of you may not have the pressure to visit Guangxi yet, so I want to take this opportunity to give you a brief introduction to these vaccinated provinces. Guangxi has several notable characters. First, it has a unique geographical location. Guangxi is located in the southern China and is a junction to the Beifu Gulf, neighboring Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau, and facing the Southeast Asia. It serves as the most convenient gateway and access to the southwestern China by sea, and it is the only province that shares both land and sea borders with Asian countries. Secondly, it has a splendid ethnic culture. Guangxi is home to 12 indigenous ethnic groups, including the Zhuang, Han, Yao, Miao, and Dong people. The culture of the various ethnic groups complements each other and coexisted harmoniously in Guangxi. Thirdly, it has unbelievable, beautiful, and natural landscapes. Guangxi boasting world-class scenes, landscapes such as the karst topography in Guilin, the Silver Beach in Beihai, and the Detian waterfall, and has the longevity capital of China, Bama County, with the longest-lived populations, which consistently attract a large number of Chinese and international tourists every year. Finally, it has also abundant natural resources, including the rich mineral deposits, plentiful water supply, and agriculture, forestry, and marine resources. A high percentage of the rain is covered by forest, and it has excellent air quality, coupled with the ideal ecological environment. Modern agriculture, advanced manufacturing, and high-end service industry are rapidly developing in this area. Here, I want to share with you a story about the close connection between the water and the mountains of Guangxi and the United States. In October 1996, two farmers from Guangxi accidentally discovered the wreckage of a U.S. military aircraft that crashed during World War II at the Mauers Mountain in Guilin City. Since then, China and the United States have cooperated in a joint excavation, and the teams have searched for the wreckage of U.S. military aircraft, as well as the remains of the deceased soldiers in Guangxi. This work is still ongoing today. This story takes us back to the era of the anti-Japanese war during World War II. At that time, Guilin City of Guangxi served as a real area of the resistance against Japan in the war. General Claire Lee Chanel led the American volunteer group, also known as Flying Tigers, and they established an airfield in Guilin. American pilots flew over the hump route to transport the war supplies and carry out the bombing missions against the Japanese airports, ports, ships, and troops, serving with great distinction and leaving behind many well-known touching stories. Today, Guangxi still keeps these remains and the signs of activities of the Flying Tigers. The related relics and the historical documents are cherished in the Flying Tiger Heritage Park in Guilin, which attracts a large number of tourists as well as the primary and secondary school students. People from all walks of life come to visit and pay their respect to everyone. The Chinese government valued the general support provided by the Flying Tiger during the war and attracted great importance to pass down to the spirit of the Flying Tigers. Last year, President Xi Jinping of China replied to a letter from Mr. Jeff Green, chairman of the Sino-American Aviation Heritage Foundation, and the veterans of the Flying Tigers, and the Vice President Han Zheng met with the Flying Tiger delegations in Beijing. Guangxi has also received visits from Flying Tiger veterans and their relatives on multiple occasions. The Flying Tiger Heritage Park in Guilin received representatives from government departments, research institutes, and school students from all over China every year. By telling the story and reliving the memories, they carry forward the spirit of the Flying Tigers, and this strengthens the relationship between the peoples of China and the United States. Guilin city of Guangxi has welcomed over 300 many heads of states in the past years. They including presidents and the former presidents of the United States, such as Richard Nixon, George H.W. Bush, Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton. The people of Guangxi cherish our friendship with the people of the United States, and people-to-people exchange between the two sides has become increasingly closer. Several pairs of sister city-states relations has been established, which permits a wider range of exchange activities. Cooperations in fields of economic, trade, education, culture, tourism, and people-to-people exchange continue to advance. In particular, last year, thanks to the continued support provided by the chairman, Mr. Jeff Green, Liuzhou Wuxi Experimental Middle School and the Schofield Middle School of the United States established the Flying Tiger Friendship School, and the Flying Tiger Youth Program was launched. This has provided a new platform for friendship and cooperation between the two sides. This year marks the 45th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relationship between China and the United States. And we hope that this photo exhibition held at the China Institute in America in New York will prolong the friendship between China and the United States that was initiated in Guangxi. We want to convey our heartfelt message to our American friends, especially the people of New York, that Guangxi has a close and deep affection with the people of the United States. We hope that both sides can exchange, cherish our shared histories, and value the close relationship, expand our common interests, and seek a common ground while respect difference. We looking forward to the future and join hands in creating an even brighter future for China-US cooperation. Thank you.
So, I'm very privileged to call upon His Excellency Wang Ping to give a speech. Welcome. Second, I want to add a few acknowledgements. In addition to these distinguished guests sitting in the
front row. I want to name Margaret. Margaret, are you there? And her husband, Tom. Can you say a wave to everybody? Margaret's father was a Flying Tiger pilot. He went to China for, at that time, with the Chinese people together. Margaret is going to publish a book with lots of authentic, real pictures on that book. And this book is going to be rolling out in April 12th. I hope everybody can get a copy and read through, so you get more stories about the real Flying Tiger at that time. So thank you very much, Margaret and her husband Tom, who flew all the way from Texas only for this occasion. And also want to acknowledge a famous painter. His hometown is in Guangxi, Shanzhuo. Maybe you all heard about Joe Brothers, right? Joe Brothers are so famous. And he got a very big painting in White House when President Obama was the president. So you know the connection. Why I know him? Because I used to work in Chicago. And Sandro came this morning from Chicago. I'm sorry you are just 1 hour later for my lunch. Otherwise we would have more time to talk about it. Okay. And also at my welcome to people, I know lots of you from Chinese community, from all walks of life. I thank you very much for joining us in celebrating here. Okay, second, I want to add a few my knowledge about Guangxi. I was born and brought up in a province called Guizhou. Guizhou is a neighboring province of Guangxi. We also have lots of minority nationalities, but not as many as minorities in Guangxi. Guizhou is very beautiful, but in compare with Guangxi, it's not that famous. It's yet to be more famous. But right now, it's not. And about the stories in Guangxi, I really want to share with you my remember of Guangxi, my memory. The first one, which really hit me, was a love story called Liu Sanji. I was born in the 60s. When China started to open up to the outside world, Liu Sanji, which was made in the 60s, it's a kind of a Chinese folk opera, so beautifully depicted, made in Guangxi, in Guilin. But that was banned during the Cultural Revolution. And when we started to open up and become a part of the world, Liu Sanji came out. And I was really attracted by the songs of Liu Sanji and her image. And she stayed in my memory until now. I still remember all those words, how she sang that, and the tunes and all the things about Guangxi. If you want to know the culture of Guangxi, probably this is also a gateway for you to know things about Guangxi, the culture. If you get time, just search and watch the live opera, Liu Sanji. You won't be disappointed. And our theme today is about the Flying Tiger. You have heard a lot from the Lieutenant Governor. My ad is like that. I want to add another story. 80 years ago, when the world was on fire and human beings facing lots of crises, China and the United States joining hands, fighting together, shoulder by shoulder, for human dignity, for human justice. In China, we were fighting the Japanese invaders. We are so appreciative that so many American volunteers came to China fighting in the Chinese sky. They formed this fierce force and fighting in the Chinese sky against these invaders. I don't know how many of them, we call them flying tigers, came to China to fight. But I know how many of them who give their life to this just cause. Jeff, is that you told me 2,600 American pilots give their life in China. Another story I want to share. You all heard about Doolittle Reader. Doolittle Reader is a story happening almost at the same time, a little bit earlier, more than Flying Tiger actually fighting in the Chinese sky. When Doolittle Raid happened, those pilots, 80 of them, they knew they won't be able to go back and land in the carriers, the Hornet. Too small for the bombers to land. They merely managed to take off from that carrier, and they accomplished their job in bombing all those major cities in Japan, sending a very strong signal to warn the Japanese that even your homeland is not secure after the bombing of the Pearl Harbor. So those pilots, they knew, but they took the job, they throw the bombs, and then they flew west. Because they were told, try your luck to China, to the coast. That's the only choice. There's nowhere to land. So they all tried, and they were so lucky. All those 16 bombers were carried by a very strong, unusually strong west wind, and they managed to reach the coastal area of China and Russia. Only one plane landed in Russia, all the others crash landed in Japan. And more than 60 of them, I don't know the exact numbers, sometimes it's confusing. I checked from the internet, some people say it's 64, some people 62, but anyway, more than 60 of them were rescued by the Chinese, most of them civilians. So they were rescued in the coastal area of Zhejiang, Jiangsu, Jiangxi provinces and sent to Chongqing. That was a temple. Trying to find who rescued those American pilots and where are the airports they want to wipe out. So launches a campaign and they killed 250,000 Chinese. So those were the stories we need to know. Lots of people only know flying tigers. I want everybody also to know the Doolittle Raid. I want people to remember Americans, Chinese, we are all human beings. Despite we have differences, we can work together. We can fight together. We work together, we fight together for human dignity, for human justice. If we could do that 80 years ago, we should be able to do that today. In the 70s, China and the US, we normalized our relationship. The re-engagement start from 1972, when Dr. Kissinger made the secret journey to China, which was followed by President Nixon and many others. We finally normalized our relationship in 1979. So this year is 45th anniversary since we normalized our relationship. If you look back to see how much we have achieved to better our lives in both countries and to better our life for everybody on the earth, you will be very proud that we normalized the relationship 45 years ago. So we have come a long way, not very long. 45 years is not a short time, but in history it's not very long. But we need to remember, we need to carry on the spirit, Flying Tiger and the Doolittle raid left as a legacy. So I'm very happy to see that so many people coming over to join us for this occasion. I'm very happy to learn that people like my friend Green, like Margaret, like Tom, and all of you are so supporting, trying to facilitating or letting people know what happened 8 years ago. And I'm so happy to learn that young generations are interested. They are joining hands. They are participating. They want to carry on the same spirit. Flying Tigers and Doolittles left for us. American and China, the largest and second largest economy. It's not an option for us to turn our back on each other. It's not realistic for each side trying to remodel the other. And no one can bear the result of the consequence of a clash or a conflict. So actually we don't have many other choices, but we have one choice. That is to work together, join hands like we did 80 years ago, like we did 50, 45 years ago. We can still carry on with the same spirit and moving ahead to create a relationship, to create a good relationship in which we both can prosper. That's exactly what we should go. We should go, or we should take away from today's show. Again, I want to thank you very much, especially George Gore, for providing this wonderful place. I want to thank everybody for joining us to let this event happen. I thank you so much. Thank you.
Now I want to make the floor for George Gore, CEO of China Institute in America.
Peoples, providing knowledge, insights on China's history, Chinese culture. So today's event is a good example of such knowledge and insights, right? So we have programs in arts, business, culture, and education. Just last week, our China Institute Gallery opened a new exhibition featuring 7 contemporary Chinese artists. 3 of them are based here in the US, 3 are based in China, and 1 from Hong Kong. So I would encourage you to take a look at just around the corner of this new exhibition, fantastic, and your tickets are complimentary. And we also have a school teaching Chinese language, literature, history, calligraphy, Tai Chi, musical instruments. We have usually on average close to 1,000 students each year. And since 2004, we have held annual executive summit that brought U.S. and Chinese business leaders together for discussions on economic business issues in both countries. Now, on June 6th this year, we are going to have a grand opening of the first ever Chinese Culinary Center, Chinese Culinary Center, downstairs on the ground floor. So please come back and visit us on that. Now, as we kick off our centennial celebration, we are very excited to bring China Institute to the next 100 years with our improved programs and activities. So I hope to see you come back more often for your continued support to China Institute. Thank you. Enjoy.
Now I make the floor for Mr. Christopher Martin.
The City Council is a great friend to this institute. Over the past 10 years, we have invested millions of dollars to make sure that it can welcome not just people who have a relationship with the China Institute, but for all New Yorkers, especially our students. Because as the ambassador said, our relationship goes back decades and even potentially centuries. There's a great partnership, and I always tell everyone, there's more that unites us than divides us. And that's why we have to look at history. When we work together, the successes that we had, that even during our darkest moments in World War II, we found a way to have partnership, to strategize together, and move forward together. And so I'm so honored to be here from the City Council to continue that friendship, continue that relationship, and to move forward as a united group of people. Before I end, I do want to acknowledge and invite up to say a few words our former Comptroller, Scott Stringer.
Well, let me just say it's very tough to follow the great ambassador and to follow Councilmember Marte, because they say what they believe, and what I hear from them, and I think President Lee and President George would agree, is we really have this unbroken bond, this friendship, this economic alliance, and also a community that works together. That will never be broken in New York City as long as we continue to have great leaders. And I'm just honored to give greetings, to thank you for this opportunity and honor another 100 years.
Representative of Assembly Member of New York's Ron King. Come here.
Photo exhibition on celebrating American friendship in Guernsey opening celebration in New York City. My name is Eunice. I attended today as a event for honor of the New York State Assembly Ron Kim, and I have brought New York State greeting letter for the New York State's representative for the Dragon Year. And then this is for Guernsey People Association for Friendship with foreign country member for the contribution by the community to congratulation the beautiful team. Thank you so much.
And now, may we have the most exciting speech, which will be made by Mr. Jeffrey Green, Chairman of the United China Aviation Foundation. Please.
Okay, I'll talk. My God! Where the heck did that come from? Jesus. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is so important, and it's being able to be here and share what I think should be properly referred to as the shared American and Chinese legacy of the Flying Tigers, because that's what it really is. And it's sad that the Chinese people in China, Chinese Americans, understand this history. And unfortunately, most Anglos, most non-Chinese have, maybe they've seen a movie, but they don't really understand how important this is. And as Ambassador, as you spoke, very emotionally, very honestly, it is probably one of the most important relationships amongst the relationship between China and the United States. It's my foundation's great honor that we've been promoting, celebrating the Second World War relationship between the United States and China for nearly 30 years. 30 years ago, I took 25 Flying Tigers to Guilin. Those were the first American soldiers to return to Guilin since the Second World War. So far we've been to 33 cities, 12 provinces, promoting and sharing. And we've just returned from 7 cities. It's our first time we were at Luzhou. And I am just very impressed with the wonderful city, the beauty of the city. It's a city that all Americans need to know about, because I'm sure once Americans learn about Luzhou, they'll go there. They'll go and see what a truly wonderful city it is, how truly wonderful the people are, and how important the American relationship and the Chinese relationship is together there. We are very lucky that on this past trip, as the Vice Governor said, we received a very important letter of support from President Xi Jinping. I didn't understand how important that would be until we got there. But the news coverage, the way we were greeted, the way our veterans were treated, we had 2 veterans and we had 30 Flying Tiger family members. Margaret and her husband Tom, and Cliff Long. We didn't mention Cliff Long's father was a very famous fighter pilot and one of our first board members. And it's just sad that he couldn't be with us. But I was very happy taking Cliff to see where his father flew. Margaret, the same thing. You saw where your father was. And her father was in Luzhou. He was in Guilin. And his photos will reflect that in his book. He was actually at Zhejiang when the Japanese surrendered to the Chinese army. Remarkable guy. So anyway, our letter from Xi Jinping was very heartfelt. He congratulated our foundation for doing this for 30 years. We have established a program called the Flying Tigers Friendship School Program. We started with 3 schools: Luzhou, Shikushi Middle School, the Zhejiang No. 4 School, and the Las Vegas Jack Schofield School. Jack Schofield was a Flying Tiger, one of our board members. And those students at Jack Schofield School know about the Flying Tigers. Their sports team was the Flying Tigers. Their sports uniforms are very commemorative, and so on. So with these 3 schools, each year now, we're very fortunate that we will be part of President Xi's invitation to bring 10,000 American students to China for the next 5 years. We just signed an agreement with the Chinese Bureau of Information, or actually Education, that they will sponsor 100 students a year from America to China for the next 5 years. We have 2 other ministries that are adding to that. So this year we're going to be taking about 200 students to China. We will also be bringing Chinese students here. And what they will learn is the history of the connection and how close China and America are, how close the Chinese people are. And one of the best ways, Ambassador, you were talking about the relationship. It was great the way the Chinese military men fought with the regular Chinese Army, PLA, 4th Road Army, all the forces. But something is more remarkable that is that there were 2,500 American airmen who were killed in the war. But something was remarkable was that 897 American airmen were rescued by the Chinese people. Not just the new little raiders, but pilots all over in every province of China, just about. But here's the thing, as the ambassador was suggesting, the Japanese did such a terrible retribution after the new little raid. The idea was it was an object lesson to the Chinese people. You help these people, and you'll kill your whole family. We'll figure out what it is. When they get off the airplane and they go to the cities, particularly in the last 10 years, they see the cities, they see the trains, they see the airports, they see the expansion, they see the optimism about the future. And I couldn't understand, there's the same look in all their eyes. It dawned on me The look in their eyes is pride. They are proud. They are proud of China today, as if they're Chinese citizens. And that's a remarkable thing. And Margaret, I think you've seen that too. With because they feel that it's China today. They have a very important part in doing it. They get a great role in allowing China to become what it is today. So anyway, I want to thank you for having us here. I want to thank the association for this wonderful, wonderful organization today. We're also doing a photo exhibit in the Air Force Museum on April 18th. We have several hundred photographs that the pilots themselves have given us. And we have a former ambassador. We have 5 Air Force 4-star generals. It's very hard to get 5 generals, retired Air Force generals in any place at one time. Several Congress people, we have 2 governors from China, several province leaders, and so on. So that is what we're continuing. We're also taking that same exhibit to China this year. So we're going to 10 cities with the exhibit, and that will be part of our continuing children's program. So, but that's pretty much it. It's just, it's so good, and so happy to be here and sharing this with all of you. And I look forward to coming back again, and cooperating with you, and sharing more stories of the Flying Tigers. Thank you.
We may have a most instructive speech. So I call upon Ms. Jan Berry, Vice President of the National Committee of U.S.-China Relations, to address. Please.
Who is between all of you and the food that is over there, and perhaps seeing some old friends and meeting new friends. I'm going to be very short. I'm very honored to have been invited to speak here today. It's actually the 4th meeting that's had as one of its themes, or actually the other ones, it was all the major theme, being the 45th anniversary of the normalization of relations between the United States and China. And that's been very important, and there have been lots of people at each of these events who's come up and talked about the importance of having a strong, stable, mutually respectful relationship between our 2 countries, between China and the United States. But this is really the first of those 4 events where people have spent a long time talking about something that's very, something that brought together the 2 people of our countries in ways that they had to face and to resolve life and death situations. And while we don't have anything as dramatic on our plate today, we do have the fact that the relationship between our 2 countries has been deteriorating over the past several years. We are now in a period where there is a reversal, and many, many people in this room are working very hard to make that change and make that reversal. And as part of that, the Chinese have sent over and will continue, I'm sure, to send over several delegations. We're very honored to have Governor Liu Pinghu with us today, as well as many of the other dignitaries who've spoken. And I'm sure, I know that Ambassador Huang Ping is being kept very busy these days, welcoming delegations that are coming from provinces and regions and cities and states in China, because at this point the subnational relationship is one that has sort of the strongest legs excuse me, and the most positive aspects. And so I think it's up to all of us in this room to do whatever we can to help to bring back not the life and death aspect of the relationship, but the focus on the importance of people-to-people relationships, people getting to know one another and realize that we really have no choice. And so while the 45th anniversary is one of normalization of relations, is one of the themes. It ties in really well with the other theme of the Flying Tigers, who were a shining light of an example of how our two peoples can work together, and it's wonderful that Jeff and his organization are working to keep that spirit alive, as the ambassador said. So those are the two of the three themes of the evening. The third is the province of Guangxi. And I have to admit, I've been to China many, many times, over 150, 60 times. I stopped counting many years ago. But probably I've only been in, excuse me, Guangxi once, but it was probably my most favorite trip. And it was favorite for three reasons actually. One is because I was there with my family. I took my parents, my siblings, their spouses, my favorite aunt and uncle. There was a group of about 16 of us. And we went to China, and we went to many areas where I had worked. As you heard, I'm the Vice President of the National Committee on U.S.-China Relations, and in the early years of the relationship, we brought a lot of mayors and governors from China and sent a lot of American governors and mayors to China. And so, not being sort of a clever person, I took my family to places where I knew the governors and the mayors to ensure that we had a very warm welcome. And one of the places we went was Guangxi, because I knew the then mayor of Guilin. And he did not disappoint. He was a very wonderful host for myself and my family, and we had a really wonderful time. The second reason why it was such a memorable trip is not just because of your graciousness, but because of the beauty of your province. It really, as Ambassador Wang Ping said a little jealously, it certainly, at least now, has the reputation of being the most beautiful place in China. And it is quite spectacular. And I'm very fortunate that I had the advantage to go, not only go, but take my family and have such a wonderful time. So I urge all of you in this room who have not yet had a chance to visit China, or if you have but haven't yet been to Guangxi, that should be the first visit on your coming trip. I want to thank all of you for coming, and at this point I'm going to stop so that all of you can enjoy the food and enjoy meeting everyone, including, I hope, having a chance to talk to Governor Liu. Thank you so much.
And now I make the floor for Mr. Charles Riley, President of the Museum of Nassau County. Charles, come here to say a few words.
Tiger. But I'm here as the director of an art museum to say something. You're in New York, the Big Apple, and art and culture are king here. And you've got, China has, they're very, very lucky to have the guy, Wang Ping, here, to be China's man in New York City. To have Madame John as well, who plays a wonderful, wonderful piano. And the reason I'm going to say that is, you just gave a really, really good talk about history. But I'm going to make the pitch to you for this. And this is the role of art and the role of music, and great guys like you, but the role of art in this amazing bond between the United States and China. Because it doesn't matter who's going to be the president of the country in November when you think about how long art lasts. You and I have talked about Li Bai and Bai Tuyi and Du Fu. And also, by the way, Huang Lao, you gave a very good class. My job and your job, many of you, and the job of this wonderful place too, and you did it too, is to be teachers. To be teachers. Many, 很多老外不知道李白，老外不知道张大千。 Now a friend to, when old age shall this generation waste, thou shalt remain a friend to man, to whom thou sayest, beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all you know on earth and all you need to know. You've got a great ambassador, you've got the art, you've got the music. Let's use it to bring these countries together. 谢谢你们啊，谢谢你们。
President of American Fujian community to make a presentation. It's a painting composed by a folk painter artist in Guilin, a city of Guangxi. The artist got to know our delegation will visit New York and met with Mr. Jeffrey Green to compose this great painting.
我为大家介绍一下这幅画的来历。这幅画呢，实质上有一个很感人的故事。
It's a moving story.
今天我到这里来参加我们广西飞虎队这个图片展以广西之旗。
I'm here to attend the photo display of an
有一个画家听说了过来，他花了3天的时间绘制了这一幅桂林飞虎桂林旗。这幅画所表达的就是飞虎队和桂林的关系。当初这个飞虎队有一架飞机失事在桂林境内，为了找寻飞虎队的这个遗骸和飞机的遗骸，桂林人民出动了2万人上山去搜寻这些遗骸和照片。所以这位画家呢，也是搜寻队其中的一员。所以飞虎队的故事在桂林流传很广，所以他就是特意绘制这幅画，让我带到美国来，作为我们美国广西同乡会由自治区廖平福主席转交给我们格林老朋友格林主席，请谢谢。
And now I call upon the distinguished guests in the first row to join them for a group photo.
Can I say one thing? Just for a second.
Okay.
I saw this earlier today. 9 of the photos here were members of our foundation, and they've all gone back to China in our trips since 1995. But this is so remarkable because their faces are just, these were my friends, so it's really wonderful that you're all doing this. So thank you.
I got 3 of them. Yes, in the first row. Try, just try. You know me work for. George? So now is the beginning and the opening of the photo display. I will ask my colleague Julie to show the guests around the photos. Hey.
This is a group photo of members of Shared Glory Committee and family members of James Bob, a member of the Muslim Trust in Murong. Visited Guilin in 1987. That aircraft has to go all the way over 10,000 kilometers, all the way to Greece. And we are coming to the fourth chapter. It's a sister state and sister city relations rock. Also joined the delegation in 2010. And the Rocky Mountain Ballet Theater from Montana. They did performances in many different cities. That's the performances of the Rocky Mountain Ballet Show in Cincinnati, and Canning and Cole, and Queen City, and Orlando. And Yangshuo County is
山中之间，藤缠树啊，世上哪有树啊缠藤？青藤若是不缠树一春泪又一春，竹子当手孙子当留你呀不留绣球当见你不见空留两手见忧愁。
97岁时奈何桥上等3年，连秋连我俩结交定百年那个97岁时奈何桥上等3年。桥上等3年，等3年。 流情哎，每有一个有情，问媒何时理红妆哎，个个上门把情哎把情。情哎，大雨过后天放晴，太阳西落月儿升哎，妹妹明年就长成哎就长成哎。情哎，渐渐细水流不停，野花开放只有绿哎，歌语阿妹情永恒哎情永恒哎。海枯石烂心不